You can have a wonderful relationship, a wonderful home, you can travel and all that, but you cannot enjoy your life if you do not have your health. And that's what we're excited about here at Still Point, offering people the opportunity to make some life changes so they can enjoy their health.
Thermography is the most underutilized imaging technology out there. It is incredible. The patients love it because they can see what's happening, they can visualize what you're describing. It's not a blood test with some numbers on a sheet of paper. You show a patient dysbiosis in their bowel right there in living color, and they get it.
We all know the importance of early detection, and that is one of the true benefits of thermography, because when our body is going to support the growth of a cancerous tumor, that tumor has to be fed. So blood vessels go to that area to feed the tumor, and then the tumor begins to grow, and that is called vascular activity. In thermography, the vascular activity distinguishes the difference between a fibrocystic mass, a calcification, or a cancerous tumor. And so it's not necessary to go on for a biopsy if there is no vascular activity. And additionally, the thermography can show a tumor when it's the size of a pinhead. And if you with mammograms, typically it cannot image a mass until it's the size of a pea. And at that stage, you might have had the cancer for 10 years and you could have over 1 billion cells.
I had gone the traditional route. About 35, I guess, I got a baseline mammogram. 40, I got another one, 45. And like most women probably, I always dreaded the experience. It was uncomfortable, it was painful. And in addition, I have had some problems with fibrocystic breast disease, which made the interpretation more difficult, which meant that they sometimes had to do the mammogram 2 or 3 times in order to get a clear reading.
Well, I had a mammogram in my early 20s because I had a suspected area, and I was reluctant to have that, but I needed to, according to my doctor, and I found it very painful and intimidating to have it done. So I didn't want to go back and repeat that, being I turned 40.
Having had the bilateral mastectomy, my options are now limited to an ultrasound, a CT scan, and I'm not interested in either. I've been through that, and I think my body has been damaged enough through the radiation from those procedures, and I am just not interested in going there again.
The more radiation you have, the more chances of having cancer. So it's like, okay, let's not put something in my body that's going to start making cancer.
In the 50s and 60s, the U.S. government was sponsoring chest x-rays for tuberculosis screening. They stopped that. Why? Because they were causing more cancers with the x-rays than we were discovering and curing disease from TB. We have gone light years beyond that in radiation exposure to patients. A CT exposes a patient to thousands of times the radiation of a simple chest x-ray, but we treat them like candy and dispense them like cotton candy in our offices and from the hospitals. We don't think anything of ordering cancer-causing CT radiation, mammograms. We expose the patients to thousands of times the radiation. It's very clear now, women under 50 should not be getting routine mammograms because it causes more disease than it saves lives. Besides, these women, we know that mammograms don't work for these women because their breasts are denser. Women that have implants, it doesn't work for them because the cancer may well be behind that and obscured by the implants. Mammograms only get about 50 or 60% of the breast. It doesn't take a picture in the axilla. It doesn't get the periosternum area. It doesn't get below the collarbone. Many times where cancers are growing or where it's metastasized to. So we have a better screening tool at this point in time. It is called thermography.
The process of thermography is very simple. We do not touch you, we do not radiate you, and we do not really even have to look at you. So a woman would disrobe and sit in front of our camera, in a very safe and secure environment, and I will be looking at the computer screen. The doctors are very specific about the images that they want, and we have 6 images for breast, and it's straight ahead, perpendicular, oblique, which means we do each breast individually, and then we do the back as well. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes to do the imaging. We additionally will have you fill out a health questionnaire, and we'll go over that in case you have any concerns or any issues or specific areas that we want to address to the doctor. We'll go over the report. When the patient leaves, then I will fill out the report on the computer, attach the images, and encrypted email it to MediTherm, who distributes it to their doctors, who are all licensed United States medical doctors certified in thermography. Typically, the report is read within 24 hours, and then we get it back to the patient within, generally within a week.
There is no smashing. There's no cancer-causing x-rays. You can't spread the cancer by bursting a tumor. Nothing touches the patient. It's all in living color where they can see it, and they can visually see what's happening because it's a test of physiology. And because it is a test of physiology, it can see cancer cells growing years, literally years before a tumor, a circumscribed tumor is available to image with x-rays. Many years before that tumor was solid and calcified, those cancer cells were growing. Well, you can see that because growing cells require an increased blood flow, and that's called heat, and that's called thermal imaging.
When I was introduced to thermography at Steel Point, it was a blessing for me. It was a relief to my mind to know that there was something I could do to help myself know that I was okay.
It can actually show you much further in advance areas that might be of some concern to you.
Completely different, a pleasant experience where nothing touches them, nothing squeezes them, there's no pain, where the technician isn't touching them. There's no cancer-causing radiation, and they get this incredible infrared picture that they can see and understand themselves. It's not typewritten page of calcification here or your mammogram was not. They can see it and visualize it with their own eyes.
It gives a better picture of what's going on, rather than just zeroing in on certain areas. It gives a total picture of the whole areas, including your lymph nodes and also the thyroid area, by looking at the back of the neck as well. So that was helpful to me because there is a connection between your thyroid health and breast health.
A lot of hypothyroid patients have a cool area right over T1, T2 in the spine. So you can show in living color and have physical evidence that this patient is indeed hypothyroid and begin to treat them.
June sets you at ease. She explains to you the process, what's going to be done, how it's going to be done, and it's very low-key.
June, bless her heart, is constantly looking at the monitor, which is away from me. She tells me which way to turn, right, left, up, down, to get the views she needs necessary.
It didn't have the pressing of the breast and hurting afterwards. And if you do have a tumor in there, I've always heard, that pressing could make it worse. So this is, this is nothing. This is just sitting there, and it takes less than 10 minutes. It's wonderful. It was easy.
It's not a high pressure thing. You work at, positioning yourself well. You're warm, you're comfortable, and it makes the entire experience much better.
The thermography was easy, so much better than a mammogram. So much better, so much more comfortable, so much more relaxing. The report to me was very informative. It gives me a great baseline for where I am now, where I'm going to be in 3 months, 6 months, a year. I can see it myself. I have the knowledge of the doctors who look at it and prepare the report for me. I can't say enough about how wonderful and mind-relieving the thermography was for me.